Welcome back to SAFC Live. It was a lively game down at the Den this afternoon. In the end, it finished Millwall 1, Sunderland 1. We'll run the highlights in a moment. But Danny, how do you describe that game? Because we weren't even able really to get our game going, were we?
No, and there's not too many times this season we've said that really. But yeah, looking at the pitch, it looked maybe a little bit bobbly if we're trying to make some excuses perhaps. But I just thought decision making at times really, when to move the ball on, when to pass, when to dribble with it. It wasn't quite there. We struggled to get our attacking players into the game like we usually do.
Could that be though that it was Millwall's game plan to disrupt that very much?
Yeah, you know, going down to Millwall, it's like obviously you say Stoke, don't you? When you go to Stoke, you've got to roll your sleeves up. You've got to do the dirty side of the game to earn the right to play. And maybe we didn't quite do that today. At times we were, I'll say, flicking at balls and trying to be a little bit, casual at times on the ball instead of doing the basics well. But then Millwall, they took control of the game in that first half. They were winning a lot of free kicks and they just pump balls into your box. They send the big lads up from the back, especially Cooper, who's a handful. Obviously, we get into his goal in a minute.
Yeah.
And then they just forced us and suffocated us into our own half really for a good half an hour in that first half. And then setting it on the fouls. We've mentioned the fouls. There must have been 50 plus fouls there
29
today.
according to the
29. Well, felt like 50.
Because there was no flow to the game,
no,
was
and
there?
that's it, and that suits Millwall in a way, really. Yeah, I've said that you've got to give them credit. They play to the way they do. They're in a good position in the table.
Yeah.
What was it, third best record at home this season behind the teams that are flying at the top. So you've got to give them credit. So I think that's a good point coming away from there. I'm sure Tony Mowbray will say the same after.
Yeah, with injuries as well. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how bad Dennis Serkin's injury is. He was definitely concussed though, so that could rule him out for a game or so in the week.
Could be 2 weeks, 2 games, 2 weeks it is, I think so. Yeah, so unfortunately for Dennis, as you say, Adji came off. He's been coming back from injury. He came off last week at Fulham. Dennis comes on for him, gets himself in there. He's brave. Lovely ball in from Alex Pritchard, gets on the end of it, clattered between the goalkeeper and the defender, I think. He comes off. It just all became stop-start. They're making changes, we're making more changes, and the game just lost its flow.
Yeah.
When you get yourselves back level like we did, and that's usually when the fans go up behind the goal, and then as a player you feel that lift, your tails are up, you think, right, come on, we've got 10 minutes. They're at home, they get a little bit nervy.
Yeah, because Dennis was on the ground for like 3 minutes.
So it didn't happen. They got a chance to regroup. They're getting a drink, they're having a few words with the coaching staff, and it sort of went away and the game fizzled out really in a way, didn't it?
Yeah, it did in the end. Let's have a look at the action though then, if we can, and we can discuss some of the moments in the game, and they were all like kind of just bitty moments. There was lots of stop-start. There was lots of appeals for penalties. There was, the referee had a tough afternoon.
Yeah, and that's one there really, isn't it? He twists back inside Adji quite well, and then for me, Adji puts his arm, there, splits his leg, throws his legs open, he dives forward, and he's asking the ref straight away. I don't think there's enough in that for a penalty, but they were energetic, Millwall as well. Yeah, I'm saying there that's the big chance there. We're fortunate there. Honeyman does well down there, right, gets his head up, picks him out, look, he's coming onto it. He can pick his corner, can't he? And he gets it wrong, so it's a let-off for us there. And this one's a big one for Joe, I think. He looks back at that, it's coming across, he's left-footed, just allow it to run across his body, then just drill it at goal, and he takes a touch and goes back into the bodies. And there we go again, it's a lot of second ball, Millwall. And Bradshaw, I kept saying it there, he's not the biggest, but he's small, he's stocky, and he just bumps into centre half. He's clever. He'd done it a lot at the Stadium Light up against Luke O'Nien. I remember in the first half when we played them. But yeah, they mixed the game up quite well. They're almost like a bit of a Burnley really, playing in the Championship, where under Sean Dyche they used to go a bit long and is getting onto that goal now. We thought, well, we've gone behind. George Honeyman thinks he's got one over his old team, but it felt like it took a while, didn't it, to chalk the goal off.
When we were watching the replay of the goal.
Yeah, but just keep your eye on if they stop it. Yeah, so see, he is closer to the line. You look at the 6-yard line there and look where his right boot is, and he does look closer, to be fair, than Danny Bart, than Adji Elise behind him. So, give credit to the linesman, and he's probably said to the referee, is he on the line of Anthony Patterson? And he was. Cooper
going down there looking for a penalty, as he often did during the game as well.
Yeah,
nothing in that.
No, throws himself to the floor. See Danny Bart, get yourself up, not having it. He went down again there, and then this one, as it just cut back, isn't it? Blocking there, Danny Bart. So so we haven't had to do a lot of defending like that throughout the well, certainly in the first half, towards the end of the half, and at times in the second half as well. And give them credit. Look how many bodies they get into the box as well, Millwall. They've always got 4 or 5 bodies trying to get on the end of things. But this is what I wasn't happy with, our setup from corners from the first whistle. I don't like it. I thought go big for me. I know at times we've gone zonal, and you can see how we set up. Danny Bart, Dan Ballard and Adji are free to go and attack the ball, but when it's an outswinger or that driven one, they can't get there. It's 10-15 yards to go and get there, and Cooper time and time again was getting too much space in the box from set plays. Anthony Patterson does really well there, big and brave. Duncan Watmore, he's got his arms up appealing for a penalty, but well, it's never a penalty, is it? Because he gets there with his 2 gloves, gets 2 hands on it, palms it away. Good goalkeeping. And it's Millwall again now from the corner. Another one free header, that one's Murray Wallace, but look at both of them there, it's free, and you've got the 4 smaller lads who are zonal, but they've got to go and get tight. Yeah. Their job there is to go and block, I know for the run, but go up against them, make it awkward. You don't have to be big in terms of blocking them, just be strong, stand your ground and make it awkward for them. But too many times from their set plays, they had 4 or 5 yards where they weren't challenged. Honeyman again, there's that one, just flicks off Dan Neil, doesn't it? Just takes the pace off it. You see it from this angle, I think. Comes across Dan, gets the block on, and it's a good save from Anthony Patterson up to his top left corner. And he made 1 or 2 decent saves, and goalkeeping at times was good from Anthony Patterson. But here's the goal now. He goes up for the first one, Cooper, and he drops lovely for him. And from his point of view, it's a great finish, isn't it? As it's on the up. Just keep a look at him. As it drops down, pop there, and he just a little casual side foot poke, isn't it? Yeah. In off the post. No chance for Anthony Patterson. He just has to watch it, hoping it comes off the post and comes away, but it doesn't, unfortunately. And Millwall found themselves in front, and I would probably say, up until that point, they deserved the lead, if we're honest. I thought they were the better team, and not in terms of playing football, but just the way they went about their game plan and imposed themselves on us. Now we're asking the question, can we come back? Can we get into the game? And a couple of balls coming in now, set plays, and we are trying to get Patrick. This was a lovely run, wasn't it, from Patrick?
Yeah,
picked it up.
A really good run. I think Patrick kept on going right until the end as well. If you maybe credit one of
our
players.
I would. At times I said, he was a little bit loose in the second half, and his decision making wasn't there. But on that occasion, you look at him there, he goes past players like they're not there really. And could he have rolled it into Joe there? Possibly. But he's probably thinking, I've done all the hard work. I've ran 80 yards with the ball. I want to get my shots away. But we were having a little spell on the ball now, weren't we? Getting in there, balls fizzed in. I think there's another one that comes back in a minute as well, which just went out the other side. There's Cooper, is it going down again, I think?
Yeah, Sabo come together there with Mitchell. Get a shot away.
Yeah. So in terms of open play, Millwall didn't create too much themselves. Yes, we never either, but all their play, and I'm sure it's what a lot of their work is done during the week on is set plays. Balls coming in, throw-ins, free kicks, corners, it's all about that for Millwall really. But they've got good energy at times as well. I think Bradshaw never stopped working. Watmore, he's busy, he's bright when he comes on. There we are again with Trey Hume. He found himself in the middle of the park. He reads it, Watmore, but a better ball there. He's just got to 5-yard pass with his left foot, roll it, he scuffs it and bounces it into his teammate, and the opportunity went away for them. Which obviously...
The delivery then, obviously Sirkin taking one for the team, quite literally.
Yeah, see the lads straight away there shouting them on. They know what's happened. It's a lovely ball in from Pritchard. You've got to be brave. Keeper comes out. Say Dennis gets there just before him, and he gets clattered, and he'll wake up later on. Whether he goes to hospital to get checked up, I'm not sure, or back on the bus.
The keeper's fist, I think, that catches him in the mouth.
Yeah, sometimes they're coming. I've been there, lads do. You go up there, you've got to be brave, and clack, there it is. But he's got us a point, hasn't he, at the end of the day? And there we go with this one right at the end, wasn't it? Alex Pritchard, ball set back to him.
Just runs away from him just before he strikes it, doesn't it?
Just gets away from him fraction. He's on the stretch a little bit, and then the ball's on its way up. But, see, there are not too many clear-cut opportunities throughout the game. A lot of scruffy set plays, and obviously that's what they got their goal from. We get one from a set play as well. But that's a good point, I think. We'll be on the way back. Tony Mowbray debriefing the lads in the changing rooms, and the lads themselves on the bus will feel, that was a good point on a difficult afternoon. Yeah,
OK then, Danny, thanks very much. And of course you can hear what Tony Mowbray reacts from that game first if you follow us on Sunderland's social media channels. That's where you'll see a first team player and Tony Mowbray's reaction to that game down at the Den this afternoon. Let's have a look around the Championship then and see how the other scores went this afternoon. In the early kick-off, Norwich were beaten at home by Burnley. Then we had Rotherham 0, Sheffield United 0, Huddersfield 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Hull City 1, Cardiff City 0, Luton Town 1, Stoke City 0, Middlesbrough 3, Blackpool 0, Preston North End 1, Bristol City 2, Reading 2, Watford 2, and Swansea City 3, Birmingham 4 in the game with all the goals this afternoon. What does that do to the league table? A point for Sunderland this afternoon. Sunderland remain around 9th this evening on 42 points. Looking upwards, Blackburn dropped to 8th. Millwall now move a couple of places to 7th. And we have West Brom above us. Watford and Luton and Middlesbrough back up to 3rd after a 3-0 win at home to Blackpool. They're on 48 points now. Back to winning ways after Sunderland beat them last time out.
Yeah. Good response from Middlesbrough, isn't it? And they're going strong there. Luton as well. See, but still big gap, isn't it? 10 points to the top there, and Burnley running away with it. But we've got to keep on going. We're still in a good position. Blackburn are falling away, aren't they? Had some difficult results and -4 goal difference as well. But yeah, it's still amongst the pack. It's a good point. But then you've got to go and follow it up now. Reading, isn't it, at home, I think, next week after the cup game.
No, that's correct there, Danny. That's when we'll be back on SFC Live. Let's have a look at your first thought on #AskDanny from Lummy. This one says, what is your thoughts on the striker situation, Danny Collins?
How did I know this one would come up? Yeah, difficult one, isn't it? I know, obviously, I wasn't able to do the podcast with Christian this week, and Christian's gone into detail on his thoughts, and they were looking, obviously, with Ross getting injured late on. Joe had obviously come in before that, but I think, if I'm honest, and I'm sure a lot of the fans would agree with, we needed perhaps another striker in, maybe 2 as well, because if Joe does get injured, like he's cup tied, I think, on Wednesday, so he can't play. So we're going to have to rotate it. Someone is going to have to fill in up top, and it's not ideal. We're in a great position. I'm sure Tony Mowbray would have liked another striker, at least one, to come in and to help out. There's still 18 games to go, I think. 17 plus the cup game, if we get through. But we had it earlier in the season, didn't we, where we lost Ross, we lost Ellis a week apart. Yeah, I think it was. And then we sort of battled on, really. We didn't have great results. I think we only won 1 in 7 in that period where the 2 of them were missing. But at the end of the day, you need strikers in the team. Joe, you see today, he struggled to get any of the ball, really. Didn't get too many touches. He had that one in the first half come across, could have got his shot away. Not sure in terms of his match fitness where he's at, really. Up at Leeds as he played. He hasn't started a lot of games, obviously, for Leeds' first team. He may have played. He's going to be starting a
lot of games here, isn't he?
Yeah. So he would have come up here thinking Ross is the main man. He's going to get some game time here and there. But obviously, in a way, he's been thrown in at the deep end with Ross picking up his injury. He's out now. He's the main man. He's the one we're looking to come and get some goals. But it was a difficult game to get him into it. We couldn't get any flow to our game. Yeah. And obviously, we couldn't get a lot of ball to him. He worked hard at times, tried to get himself going. But yeah, certainly, I would personally have liked to have seen another striker or 2 to come in there to help us out.
Yep, okay then. Let's see another thought then here on #AskDanny from our friend Mr. Spencer, who says, Pato and his calm persona was mentioned in comms. Back to your playing days, Danny. Who was the exceptional calm goalie? Which other keepers had excellent attributes? I called Pickford, and his distribution was masterful at Sunderland. But which keepers did you enjoy playing in front of?
All about a calm goalkeeper. Probably Tommy Sorensen, but not here when I went to Stoke.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I played with Tommy down at Stoke, and he was that. He was calm. Come for crosses all day long. As soon as the ball come in, he was in there. And I know he had a good time at the club here as well. So Tommy probably is the one that stands out for me in terms of that. It's interesting he's mentioned. Well, he's mentioned Jordan Pickford there, and for me, Jordan is the exact opposite of Pato. Jordan, he's quite hyperactive, really, as a goalkeeper, isn't he? He's full on. I know some people tend to criticise him for that, but that's the way he plays his game. Yeah. And look where it's got him.
England number 1.
And he mentions his distribution there. It's top drawer, isn't it? He can drop a ball on a sixpence from wherever he is, Jordan. So all types of goalkeepers. Some are vocal. They're a strange breed, goalkeepers. The keeper coaches will say it themselves, really, and it's awkward because at the end of the day, it's only one position. As an outfield player, sometimes you can play, centre back, full back, but goalkeeper. If you don't play, then it can be a little bit niggly, I think, in the goalkeepers' union. But no, what I said, he's right there on comms. I did say about Anthony Patterson. And if you look at him in the game, you wouldn't know whether it's the first minute, coming towards the last minute. He's generally calm, isn't he, when balls are coming in, whether he makes a mistake. Don't really see him beating himself up.
Yep.
Don't often see him coming flying out of his goal too much. There was one second half where he timed it really well, didn't he, with Duncan Watmore. But no, I just think he's growing week in, week out. Well, look at the goal that wasn't. He got fortunate with it. But yeah, the reason I'm going to help him out again here is that the fact that who was stood in his way now? George
Saville.
Saville was in his way, wasn't he? Just offside. Now, if he's not there, he gets a clear line and he probably makes a clean save, whether it's spun as well in front of him. But he did make a mess of it. We got away with it. But other than that, I thought he was good again today. Claimed a few crosses, and he knows coming up against a team like that what it's all about. They'll have talked about it in the meeting room. You're going to have to deal with a lot of these. Danny Bart, Dan Ballard.
Yeah, Cooper left one on Patterson as well in the first half, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got on with it. He's just shrugged it off and just. He's a very quiet character, isn't he? Calming, and I've spoke to the goalkeeper coaches, and they say even warm-ups. A lot of keepers like to do a lot of stuff. They say he likes 10 balls, quick hands, and he's happy to crack on with training. So, but no, I've enjoyed watching him so far this season.
Yeah, he's a great young player for Sunderland, and let's hope he has many more appearances for Sunderland in the future. Any more #AskDanny's? I say to our producers, yes, we do have one. This is from Eden, who says, "What is your thoughts on the Millwall goal?" We've discussed it a little bit already, but it was Cooper who scored it. I wonder if we can see a clip of it again, if we can, because the ball was just dropped to him, didn't it? It was on the floor.
He goes up for the first one. I think it's Cresswell behind him actually knocks it down. We'll see it maybe if we see it from the slow-mo, this one now. So he goes up, doesn't get the contact, but it goes up with a couple of bodies. Analyse's up there, and it just drops. And it's a great finish, by the way. Just a little casual prod, isn't it? And look at that there. Yeah, so he was a handful all afternoon, wasn't he? I mean, I don't know if he's asking me what could we done better. I've talked about our setup from corners. Listen, I know loads of coaches like to go zonal. Sometimes people have said throughout the season we're not the biggest team. So if you're looking at us today, you've got Dan Ballard, Danny Bart, Analyse, the three main headers of the ball there on the pitch. Other than that, we're not the biggest. Trey Hume's got a good leap on him, but I wouldn't say he's a big, powerful unit. So then you're looking at it, and they've decided to go with them across the line. And then you want your smaller players, and they weren't doing their jobs great for me, where you want them up against the men. Don't let them get a run at it. But you see there, no contact, free run. He's got 5-6 yards to run. He can get a leap at it. And he'd done that 3 or 4 times. For me, we had warning signs before the goal where Cooper, time and time again, he was getting his head on it. I personally would perhaps, I've been there as a centre half. Usually in the meeting room on the board before you go out, you've got your markers, you sort of 3-4 main centre half, centre forwards for them, and you're picking up and you'll get one of them. We've opted to go the other way, go zonal. Ross does it well, doesn't he, when he comes back for us, to be fair. We leave Ross free, and 9 times out of 10 he'll go and win it, especially if it's in that near post area. But I would perhaps have liked to see Dan Ballard or Danny Barth giving Cooper, go and stand up against him, make it hard, be strong, get your body in, don't let him get a run. And he done that too much today. And then obviously the goal has come about from that in a way.
Yeah. Okay, then let's have a look at another one then, if we can. That's our friends from the German Black Cats club, and they are coming over for their game against our game at home against Bristol City on 17th of this month, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. It's good to see you guys heading over, and come say hi next time you're at the Stadium of Light, guys. Next one then, please. From Safi, this is our last one this afternoon. How badly are we going to miss Ross Stewart? Are the playoff hopes dashed? Asks Safi.
Well, I hope not. No, we're still right in amongst it. You see the table there. Yeah, it's not disappointing for me today. It was a point well earned in the end. I think when you're not at your best, don't get beaten. That's what we've managed to do today. But yeah, listen, Ross is a massive blow. We talk about him every week, really, don't we? You see the impact he's had since he's come back from his injury. I think it was 5 in 5, wasn't it? What was he on? He was on 11 goals or something, and he's missed a lot of the season. But just, if you're on about his all-round game for me, balls come up to him, he sticks balls well, he lays balls off well, and then he's on his bike, and he can run as well, can't he? You see, well, you look at the penalty for the Middlesbrough game, in behind the centre half, and once he's got grass to run into, he can gallop, Ross, can't he? He can get on his bike. So he is going to be a big blow for us. And now, we've been on about the striker situation. It's been talked about all week. I've looked at it, and you know, by all accounts, the club were looking to get someone in. They feel like they've been left short in terms of the time and trying to get a replacement in for Ross as well. But Joe's got to stand up now. It's hard to say, you know, are the playoffs dashed? No, I said it before the game. If Joe comes in and he contributes, gets 8-10 goals between now and the end of the season, then Patrick, Ahmad, Jack, you know, Dan Neil, some of the other boys are contributing as well, then we've still got it in us. I think we've 42 goals. I think we've scored this season. We're up there in the top 6 or 7 for goals scored. Yeah. So we have got goals in us. And I said at the start of the season, you need lads contributing 8 to 10 goals in other areas of the pitch, don't you? And obviously we've lost Ross, who had I think 11. Ellis had 7. Then you've got Ahmad, who's on 7. So some of the other lads need to get goals. Patrick, I think, has got 6.
Pritchard's coming back.
Pritchard's come back in as well. So we've got lads in the team who are more than capable of contributing. But certainly no, playoffs aren't dashed. You are reliant on Joe staying fit, because then you're looking at tinkering the team. You know, I don't want to see Ahmad through the middle really. Don't want to see Jack playing through the middle. But it's, if Joe's not going to be fit, who plays up top? Well, we're going to see that on Wednesday, aren't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got to get on with it, and we've still got 17 games to go, but we're still right amongst it, and we're more than capable on our day, we keep saying it, of beating anyone in the league.
Yeah, and it's been a tough afternoon for Sunderland in the Championship. It was a brave equaliser from Dennis Sirkin this afternoon to make it 1-1 down at the Den. Danny's right, Sunderland's next game is that FA Cup replay on Wednesday night here at the Stadium of Light, where we're broadcasting from this afternoon. Tickets still available. Go to safc.com for details on how to purchase those. Sunderland's next league game here on SAFC Live will be on Saturday, a week today, the 11th. That's against Reading. A 3 p.m. kickoff for that will be on air from 2:30 here on SAFC Live. That's it for us this afternoon. We'll see you soon.